how much, DeMar was saying it, that how much is it of a measure of your defense is the game tomorrow night going to be?
Well, again, it's one of 82. I mean, tomorrow night's game is not going to make or break our season. It's a big game because they're one of the best teams in the league right now from that standpoint, but we're not going to judge who we are or what we're not by one game. Yeah, we want to play well and see where our defense is, but we're not going to commit, go sideways if something goes wrong or something happens. We're going expecting to win. The team's coming into our house, and we want to make sure we perform well on both sides of the ball, in our arena.
Why do you match up so well against this team?
I mean, one thing, we caught them early before they got hot. That's one thing. It's hard to say. I thought we were playing better defensively at the time and clicking better offensively. So we'll see where we are. Again, tomorrow night is one of 82. They're one of the best teams. Again, it's not going to determine who we are, where we are, on what happens on either side of the ball tomorrow night.
What's worked so well for them in the last 10 games? I mean, you look at the numbers and everyone has been contributing in terms of rebounds. The scoring has been relatively balanced between the positions, but what's worked for them from your perspective?
Just their consistency. I mean, they're consistent effort on every possession. They don't have anybody that's pulling outside away from the rope, away from the center. They're all pulling together. They're buy-in. They're playing as a team right now. Everything they're doing is clicking. They can take two guys out of the lineup and still have an all-star they're playing. Everything they're doing now is working. And what we plan to do is come out and outwork them at our house tomorrow night, and that's what we got to do. If we have a chance to win tomorrow night, we got to be the hardest working team on the floor.
I don't want you to give away your all-star ballot, but is it sort of hard to single out one thing that they do because they do so many things so well and they have so many points of attack?
One thing they do, Eric, is they shoot the ball extremely well at every position. It's not just one position. They come off the bench with shooters. And now where they're getting now, you got a healthy Horford, who is, I think, one of the top centers in the league right now, the way he's playing right now. One of the top point guards in T. Korver is one of the best shooters in the world. Millsap is one of the best shooters in the world. So I would say shooting and their commitment to defense. I mean, they play a team defense. They don't have a team of stoppers, so to speak, but they play the way we want to play. Is a team concept. They protect the paint. They play the percentages. And they're where they're supposed to be in their rotations. And they work hard. They play extremely hard. And that's why I say the hardest working team on the floor tomorrow night will win the game.
So do you look at them with any kind of envy, knowing that that's where you want to go in certain aspects?
Right. No, I don't envy anybody because we used to have battles with San Antonio, and I don't envy anybody. I know what we have to do as a team. They play the game the right way, if that's what you're saying. But I don't envy them because our job here is to play that way. Not out of envy, but out of necessity.
Do you see a little bit of yourselves in them? I mean, when you guys are going good and when they're going good, a little similar?
Yeah, we both are shooters. Yeah. They're having to play defense. That's kind of the personalities of both teams. And we are similar from that standpoint. They've done it at a high level for longer than we have right now. So from that standpoint, we're a lot alike. We believe in a lot of the same things on both sides of the ball.
I think the Hawks may not be so forgiving if you guys have a bad quarter like you guys did against Philly. Anything you guys can improve on from that game to tomorrow night?
From last night?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. One thing I thought we did a good job on was protecting the paint. We're doing a better job of keeping a tight paint, not getting stretched out. They didn't have all their players last night. They're shooters, so it was a little bit easier to do. That's one thing. I thought we were tied together a little bit better defensively. One thing that was concerning, we have to do a better job tomorrow night, is turning the ball over. We got to get that down to 11 or 12 or below to be a good team on the offensive end. But defensively, we got to continue the tight paint concept. Multiple scrambles. Tomorrow night is going to be a big scramble game. One shooter to the next shooter to the next shooter to the next shooter. It's going to be a continuous scramble to getting those guys off the three-point line.
DeMar played 29 minutes last night. Obviously, it depends what the game happens tomorrow. But do you want to limit him to around that number again Friday?
I would say it's going to be, close to the same. We're not going to put a number on it. His body's going to tell him what to do. He feels good. He went through practice today feeling good. So, I don't want to put a number unless the doctors come down and say he's got a numbers limit. That's the only thing that can keep him from doing it. I don't think there's any limitations from him because he feels much better now.
What does it say for you guys, the fact that they rested a couple guys to get ready to come here tomorrow?
Well, it says they have a lot of guys that can step in and play. I don't know not a lot of teams have that luxury of having so you can set out 2 stars or 2 players and still come out and compete at a high level. I don't know if it's anything to do with us or not, but we just got to worry about us and what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor.